Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome into Weekend Recharge. I'm meteorologist Maria LaRosa, and we continue to track the remnants of Harvey producing stormy weather in parts of the east, while still flood-ravaged and wind-damaged Texas continues to build right now and hopefully sooner than later continue to recover. All right, I want to bring in my colleague still in Houston right now, Paul Goodlow. And Paul, it is again wonderful to see the sunshine, but even better to hear these amazing stories that you've shared with us over the last few days. Rough day yesterday with tornadoes and funnel clouds and wind damage, and you see all the reports here. 63 reports, including 2 funnel cloud reports, 18 hail reports. There was some damage done, trees down in cities like Charlotte. A lot less to look at. That's the great news, but you still see that familiar turn with the leftovers of Harvey, and the storm's still going on in through eastern North Carolina. So a stormy day from the Outer Banks down or up into the Chesapeake, but notice again through this afternoon, while it may not be raining right now in Philadelphia, down the shore, it could be with you for the dinner time. So if you are making that trip to the beach, just be aware there will be heavy rain at times. That surges continues to push to the north, so that while we see the showers and thunderstorms today from West Virginia, western PA, the mid-Atlantic, it will be back up into the northeast and New England for tomorrow. So yes, still some remnants here, the showers related to Harvey, including Boston and New York. You add it all up, while not really to the level of incredible flash flooding, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, still a good amount of rain between now and the end of the weekend. All right, then we have all eyes again on the tropics. Dr. Greg Postel here to update us on the now for your tropical update in the lab now with Dr. Greg Postel, and we want to get to the nuts and bolts of Hurricane Irma, really the next area of our focus.
Yeah, Irma's a nasty hurricane right now. The good news is it's kind of in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, a long way from the Lesser Antilles of the Caribbean. It's more than 1,000 miles from the eastern edge of the islands. Long time to think about it and figure out where it's going, but it is moving west at 14, Maria, and that's an ominous track. Because
it's been sort of locked in with the models for some time.
Yes, indeed, it has been. And the track, we do believe it will be on that westward way, and as it does, it will get better and better organized. Right now, it kind of appears to be struggling a little bit. It's going through some internal changes like it did about this time yesterday, where the intensity is kind of bobbing up and down right around the same number, around 110 miles per hour. We don't know for sure, but Recon will be in there tomorrow to check it out.
Okay, and that's going to be really huge, because up until this point, we have not had any direct measurements, and all that information will then go into the computer models, which remarkably, I feel like it's been a while since we've had this much of an agreement this far out with models.
Yes, I think you're right. This is an interesting set of tracks here. Each one of these lines is a different model forecast of where the center of Irma would be going. And there's a pretty tight grouping here, giving us some confidence that at least we hope that the center will pass north of the Leeward Islands of the Lesser Antilles here and north of Puerto Rico. But that doesn't mean if it were to take that track that there wouldn't be impacts, because it could be bigger and stronger by then.
Right, you know, tropical storm force winds enough to do some damage, and you know, you can get those 100 plus easily miles out from the center.
Exactly.
But with that said too, it's also on that left side of the storm too, which is also sort of a good thing. You have to look at good versus bad.
I agree. And I think the big thing to take away is that by late Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be dealing with a big time hurricane somewhere in that zone. And I guess then, the million-dollar question after that is, where does it go from there, and how strong will it be? Well, if you look at the water temperatures that we've kind of outlined here, right now Irma here is over water temperatures that are kind of lukewarm, certainly warm enough, but not super boiling, right? But as it goes westward, we think the center over here somewhere by middle of next week. Notice the intensity comes up to 130. Part of that is because it moves over warmer water.
It's certainly an important ingredient, not the only, but it's certainly not limiting. It's not a limiting factor, the warm water.
I think that's right. And it continues on its westward way, unfortunately, on a path toward the Bahamas and the United States. So we're kind of at that stage, I think, in science overall, is that we can say something beyond the cone. We can sort of go at it probabilistically. And what are the odds of the center of Irma being somewhere out in this, say, a week from now, next weekend, or even a little bit beyond that? And if you look at the ECMWF model, Maria, it is probable that the center will be near the Bahamas. Interest there, pay close attention to it.
All right. I can appreciate, though, this as well, the possible. You know, you don't lock onto any one model solution saying landfall here or landfall there.
Right.
But the idea is we have the luxury of time to look at it this far out.
That's right. And a possible close encounter with the southeast mid-Atlantic is not out of the question. It's realistic. And as you've always been saying, that it's not too early to make preparations.
It's amazing, though, from Miami all the way up to Maine.
It's the middle of the hurricane season.
All right. Get that plan ready.